This video is going to show you Solar Floor's Encore Overture on Expert Mode, the 100% run. So when I'm saying the 100% run, I'm referring to getting a full Solar Floors clear and all secrets and chests done in one entire run. That's what that means. It doesn't mean, oh, we'll check out the secret portals, have a chat with Bife for 96 hours about the detail of the grimoire and stuff. This is just a Solar Flawless run. Be happy about it. So the surges are Solar Surge, Arc Surge. You need to consider these two in your loadout 100%. Because you're minus 15 Delta, the mission's 2020. Because you're minus 15, it hurts your DPS quite a lot as opposed to when we were on the normal difficulty, right? So the surges matter. I can tell you firsthand because I was using a Strand LMG for a while in this mission. I was like, why is my Strand LMG not doing so well? Oh, well, because Strand Surge isn't on. All right, that makes sense. So you've got to think a little bit more about your loadout with these surges, is what I'm saying. Especially at the final boss fight. That's where it really matters. We have Void Threat on, of course it would be. And there's daily rotating modifiers in this mission, so it's not the same every day. So for every reset, it changes between martyr and flying units. You want to do this when martyr's on, because if flying units is on, the boss is so much more deadly than what he already is. Do it when martyr's on, but if flying units is on when you're watching this video and it's like a week down the line, then it's up to you. Either wait a day, wait for martyr, or try and attempt it. You can still do it with flying units, but you might die with flying units. I'm just letting you know, like for the more average player or below, you might die when flying units is on. And I'll point it out to you the exact details of what I'm on about. We have champions barrier and overload as well in this. Weapon wise, we use the Call, rocket sidearm, a barrier pulse rifle. I highly recommend a barrier weapon of some kind in this mission because there's a lot of hobgoblins. Shooting through their immunity will be the difference between dying or not dying sometimes, to be honest. Barrier weapon's really good in this. And I highly recommend Dragon's Breath for the absolute GOAT strategy of this entire mission, especially at the combatant sections. Snipers are very good in this as well. It's to be noted, Whisper of the Worm especially, and Darcy because of its buff. I'm not joking about that. Darcy's actually really good. But no, I still recommend Dragon's Breath with the playstyle because of the build. It goes into the build. We're using Song of Flame, Storm Grenade, Arcane Needle, aspects were Feed the Void, Bleak Watcher, Fragments. The two important distinctions that you must put in your build if you want to copy what I did is Facet of Dawn for Radiant buff and Facet of Dominance for a debuff via your Transcendence Void Grenade. The middle fragments were Facet of Balance, Protection, and Courage, with the exotic arms getaway artist, of course. This is the build on screen that you will see. I run this for all of it. The only distinction is that we changed some resistance mods. So double void resistance for the final boss, but getting up to the boss, there's a lot of solar, so we do concussive solar void, and then we then swap to void at the end because there's no equipment locked on. We can do that. We have a utility kickstart thing going on. We have no armor charge build per se. We don't need one really because the build does everything for you. And the last thing that we do as well is we use a eager edge sword. That's the last thing to mention, should I say, is that I use an eager edge sword for a lot of this because it's a massive mission and there's a lot of traversal. So I highly recommend a eager edge sword, bringing that along. But that's pretty much everything that we used in this mission. So for the purpose of this 100% run of this mission on expert mode, I decided to speed up some of the traversal. This is only going to knock about 5 minutes off the run anyways, which the total time of this run when I actually done it was 38 minutes. So in actual fact, it's the same time. It's just that I've added 4 to 5 minutes commentary of intro, discussing weapons, etc. So I've saved that time by speeding up this stuff because this stuff doesn't matter. This video is based on that you know the route already, and if you don't, it's on the screen anyways for you. But this video is more about exactly the details that matter when you're doing the combatant sections and the secrets, because that's ultimately what you need to know. All right. So I'm speeding up the parts that don't matter, but never speeding up the things that do matter. I won't speed up any of the secrets, none of that. I'll explain it all in detail. So the first secret that you will get is at the purple room. When you get to the purple room, this is the first secret that you need to do, right? So you get your scannable and then you wait for boxes. The boxes will spawn, the Vex boxes, and there'll be a light under each Vex box to kill. Now the Banshee quest says open the first secret chest and complete Expert Overture. I done that, right? So I just done this one, then complete Expert Overture. It didn't give me the question. I tell you what, give me the catalyst, right? The second secret, not the third. But I just done all 3 secrets in this run anyways. But I'm just saying, to actually get the catalyst of Banshee, you just need to do 2 secrets, not 1. It explicitly says the first chest as well, which pissed me off a little at the time. I was like, well, I've done the first chest. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to do all the secrets. So hence this video. So that's the first secret done, right? So that's that done. I'll speed it up now because there's more traversal, more stuff. These ads are all a skip. The only way to skip them though without invis is really to do eager edge. I just had my sword aim assist to an ad, which nearly killed me, but that's fine. So yeah, 2 eager edge swings over those enemies will net you the skip. Then we do the 2 top greens. So I'm not explaining the greens and the blues so much. I explained that in my previous video. This is, as I say, this is more traversal. But yeah, I'm sure you know the greens form the platforms, blues are portals, yellows are doors. That is it. It's just it's more a case of where to be, when to be. And if you've done it 2 or 3 times, you know where to be and when to be. Don't clear all ads. Leave 1 cabal up. If you do that, if you clear all ads, you get snipers up top. If you didn't know that. So actually leave 1 cabal enemy up if you can. If you can, down below, you'll get no more ads spawning, which is nice. Because you might be weak after the red wall chase. And there'll be snipers there. So you could get sniped as you're weakened. Yeah. So that, even though it's a small detail, it could become a problem to you later. I just missed my jump here. I won't speed it up for the wall because I just want to clarify about the wall. So a few people are saying that they're dying at the wall phase, etc. There is a bug linked to this. So I think people are completing it without dying. It's just that they're getting the bug. Don't dunk the mechanic thing, the green thing, too soon. Also, kill the enemies that spawn at the end. I'll point it out. So you want to do 2 eager edge swings, 1 here and 1 here, and right after your swing, jump up. That will reduce the chances of a Cyclops hitting you and one-shotting, because it'll just about one-shot you, the Cyclops. So jump right after you've done the swing. See, I know the timing of a Cyclops blast. I shouldn't. I'm weird, but I do intrinsically. So I know when to sort of jump, right? But I'm just saying, if you after your second eager edge swing, if you just do a little short hop, there's less chance of you getting hit. That's how enemies are coded in this. If you're just standing still, an enemy can hit you direct, right? Yeah? Once you start jumping about and being mobile, the enemy is less accurate. That's the game reward and good movement. Which, it's actually good game design if you think about it. It actually is really good. There's no other game that I can think of in the modern day era that nails enemy AI as good as D2. And even D2 doesn't do it perfect, but it does it damn good. Like, obviously I was playing First Lieutenant. The enemy AI in that is questionable, isn't it? First Lieutenant, enemy AI, it's questionable. It really is. And not just that, I'm not just picking on the First Lieutenant, because I think the First Lieutenant is a good game. By the way, we used a super there to skip the overload. No point killing the champ. Like, there's no platinum rank in this. It's not a Grandmaster Nightfall. I don't even know why there is champs in this mission. In my opinion, there probably shouldn't be. Because the champs, where they put the champs, they're in 2 non-critical phases anyways. I can understand if they put some champs at the boss. Like, say the overloads, say the Minotaurs were overloads at the boss fight, the Hydra. I could understand. I was like, alright, they've got a purpose. I understand that. That's the challenge. To do your DPS phase, then survive overloads. Alright, I get it, but there isn't. Alright, so why is the champs in this? Oh, just so that we can slap on that sticker of champ mod. Not impressed. So there shouldn't be champs here at all. I mean, what have we done so far? We've killed one barrier, yeah? And skipped one overload so far. This area is just a devour kill chain. Just get your devour kill chain going. Take down the 2 snipers and a minotaur will spawn. Try and one cycle them. To one cycle, or almost one cycle, you need to try and freeze them. A transcendence will work wonders on them and do a massive amount of damage. See, they keep porting like an overload. They're actually worse than an overload. So we got him in 2 cycles. After 1 teleport, we killed him. That's good. Because they can port over and over and over and waste so much time. So try and kill them as quickly as you can. With Transcendence, that helps out. This is the second secret. It's just a scannable here and you go through a portal. This is the this is easy, this secret, so I'll detail that. So you're going to go through 2 portals, then you're going to be in a different area. Just think of this area as a big box and you're going clockwise. That is it. Because in my mind, they're all in each corner. So this is one corner. Number 1 coming up, look. Here we go. Right? And then here's another corner. Eager Edge over there. This is number 2. There's 5 total. This is like the 0 hour thing where you were shooting those objects. Similar, you timed. That's exactly what it is, really, to be honest. Just that you're not matching shapes. You just have to shoot them. By the way, this is not RNG. They're there. They're at the same place each time. So those are the 5. You then can get your chest back, which, by the way, the chest is auto. It auto opens. You don't need to go over there and pick it up. You'll just get your loot. On your first time completion, you'll get the catalyst. So secret 2 will get you the catalyst, not secret 3, right? Which the Banshee quest said secret 1 would get you the catalyst, plus a completion on expert mode, which was false. You actually need to do 2 secrets, which that is true, because you could actually back out once you get the catalyst and not complete the mission. See if you already had the completion, you could actually just back out and you'd actually have the catalyst at the crafting table. So it's kind of weird, like, that's another thing. It's weird, like, it's alright having secrets, but when things are ambiguous, people go on the internet to complain. And I don't blame them sometimes. So yeah, the mission's not overly buggy, but it can be. I did get bugged today on the mission, on the 3rd secret, which I'll talk about in a minute. You want to use a super here on the Hydra. Get rid of the Hydra as soon as possible. That's why we've got a super for this particular part. It makes things makes this encounter trivial, which without a super it wouldn't be as much. You'd have to start to maybe whip out my gun a little bit and then maybe have to start thinking stuff, which I don't need to if I just pop super, clear barrier, Hydra, done. Now we'll speed the footage up again. Now we're just putting greens to blues, blues to greens. That's all we're doing here. And now we're at our first proper combat section, which, what are we, 13 and a half minutes into the video and we haven't got to a combat section yet? Then, you know what I mean? The mission is good and it is big, but is it too big? Like, is it necessary to be this big? Is it really necessary? Right, you want to start DPS on here with the Dragon's Breath shot first, then a Radiant melee, so you get the most damage, and a turret. Then finish with call damage as much as possible before the ads start to collapse. Then you want to get another DB shot off. Yeah, and that'll do it. Don't spend any more than 2 shots, because your Dragon's Breath ammo is valuable to you, because you might not get the heavy ammo drops later on. You might not, or you might get limited amount. It depends. But what I would say to make sure that the runs fail safe for ammo, you spend 2 shots. I mean, look, we got rid of the boss quick there. We got rid of him in 30 seconds without super. Don't spend Transcendence either. You need Transcendence for the Tormentor phase. So wait for Rift. If you haven't got your Rift, wait. You definitely want to heal in Rift because there is a chance of death. And I need to point out the deaths. I need to point out a high probability of death. It would be a high probability if you don't have a healing rift. So this is how you start. Dragon's Breath shot, consume, nade for turret, reload Dragon's Breath, a rift down, then Transcendence for debuff, another Dragon's Breath shot, and then all rocket sidearm damage. We'd refresh on the Radiant. with the melee. Is it refreshing? No, it's actually not refreshing my radiant there, I noticed. Then you pop super right after you've debuffed with the Transcendence. And that will get you a third damage easily on the Tormentor. And you only spent 2 Dragon's Breath shots. So 2 for the first phase, 2 for the second. So now we're down to 6. Still no ammo drop. Notice. That's okay though, because I've managed and be efficient, I've got plenty for the next room. The next room can be awkward, but you can stand your ground. Whereas the room previous, you can't stand your ground, which is why you require a super. This room doesn't require a super because you can stand your ground with your turret, and the ads don't really push you too much behind this pillar. What you got to be careful of is the boss's super. If the boss, the subjugator that is, pops a super and there's lots of crystals around you, if those crystals explode on you, it's a death. Because chances are you don't have stasis resistance on. Why would you? Because the focus is void in this. So ideally, like, just run away from that if you see that at all. Seriously, you can't just stand there. You've got to run if the stasis crystals around you, because eventually the boss wants to shatter them and kill you. But yeah, look at that. The Dragon's Breath makes short work. Same thing again. We only spend 2 Dragon's Breath shots and still no ammo. But again, because of us strategizing ammo, it doesn't matter too much. So now what we want to do as well, don't kill barrier, by the way. Always kill the boss before, then the barrier at the end. Why? Well, because we can farm him for super energy and prismatic energy. So just pay attention to my super bar and my light and dark energy. Granted, I won't be getting a lot of light energy, dark energy, because I'm using a solar pulse rifle, but I've got call on. So I can do a bit of that, right? I can do a bit of sidearm damage to get my dark energy up, because you definitely want, for the next room, to make it consistent, you need some Dragon's Breath ammo, a super, and Transcendence. So all we're doing here is shuffling things about. Notice. So room 1's easy. So we don't spend anything. Just a rift, 2 Dragon's Breath shots. Room 2 with the Tormentor, we spend everything because that's a critical phase. Room 3, not as bad. You can stand your ground. You don't need to spend too much. You can maybe pop a Transcendence, but you definitely don't need a super. The next room, you definitely want everything. So if a room's more difficult, this goes for everything in the game. Always spend your stuff on the harder rooms. Never spend a super or something like as valuable in endgame on easy rooms. It might sound like common sense, but how many times do you see people use like Nova bombs and stuff on like 2 goblins and stuff in strikes? You'll see it happen. It happens. But notice what we're doing here. We're actually stun locking the Tormentor because he wants to jump up here. If you don't stun lock him like this, he will definitely jump up. So again, you spend the 2 DB shots, Transcendence, do so much damage of that, then you pop your super, and that will get you this phase done. There will be some ads left over, which I recommend maybe kill them. We got our first brick. Boom, first brick. So we're to 6. Which, oh, we got another brick. So all of a sudden the game just starts throwing heavy at you. Weird. So we put our blue in, and now this is the final section. So this is where you want to jump. Jump up straight away, because the Tormentor will see you right away and may enrage and try to grab you. Sometimes that can be a thing. You need to jump up here as soon as possible, and this is your point of operations. This is where you're going to do DPS. This makes things a lot easier. Now, if you don't have the DB ammo, but you've got some rocket sidearms here, expand all your special, then swap to Outbreak Perfected. Or Revision 0. An exotic primary with backup DPS is what I'm saying to you. Because if you've got no Dragon's Breath ammo, then your exotic slot ain't doing nothing for you, so you may as well put something else on. Equipment lock's not on. That didn't happen on this run, right? But on the run before this it did, and I did have to swap to Outbreak because I didn't get one single brick. So that's what I'm saying. If it happens to you, just swap to Outbreak and do Outbreak damage, because although Outbreak won't be as much as what the Dragon's Breath would be with Call, you're going to get more super energy. So you'll end up getting a super to quickly kill them anyways. So that's just a way around it if you don't get the ammo, is what I'm saying. I'm trying to cover all bases here. But the Tormentor and the Subjugator were really good. They were standing close to each other. And also, when you're using your Dragon's Breath shots, try to either have a good uptime on Radiant or Transcendence. So if you're close to Transcendence and you've only got like 2 shots left, maybe wait Transcendence, pop it for the buff, because then you're going to get that buff from Transcendence, plus your debuff from Facet of Dominance, because the Transcendence nade is Void. Well, it's Void and Stasis, but it's Void. I don't care that it's Stasis, I care more that it's Void, because it's a debuff for us. So we are going to swap to Outbreak now. It's just for the Hydras. I want to melt them quick, because if you try and melt them with a legendary pulse rifle, it takes far longer, and I don't have the patience for that. So we're going to swap to Eager Edge Sword. So hopefully there's brick for you. There should be, because if you kill the initial Cabal, either they'll drop a heavy brick or the Tormentor will, or the Subjugator. If you have no Eager Edge at all, I would just equip to the sword anyways, and then just hope that an enemy or two... You can kill enemies here as well, but I just skip them. Because you need some Eager Edge for one particular part. It's this part here. So you go on the outside and you just keep Eager Edging. There'll be a Champ and a Rive, and you want to avoid both. Again, it's not too difficult to do that. It's just that you need the ammo. Even if you had, say, 2 or 3 sword ammo, at least. Which you don't get infinite... I know there's infinite sword ammo going around at the minute, but it's not in this mission. You don't get infinite sword ammo in this mission. Just so you know. It would be nice if you did, but you don't. So that's the Hydra melted, and now we're on to the third and final secret. So you want to activate the tower. Don't activate the mission scannable, only the tower. If you activate the mission scannable, you've messed it up. Don't do that. So you're going to be presented with two blue modules. You're going to have a module and just insert it into the left or right portal. It doesn't matter. The first one is free. So you need to shoot the purple balls, right? But on the first round, all purple balls are damageable. On the second, third, fourth, fifth round, they are immune. They are boxed. Some of them are boxed. Some of them aren't. Your job is to find out which ball is not boxed and to associate a diamond below the purple ball to then go through the portal and shoot the correct one, because you're going up top. The hard part of this is knowing which portal to activate. What I'll say to you is just go around in a clockwise direction and just activate it until you get a diamond below a box. Until you get a light diamond below a purple ball that is not boxed. Right, so right now I'm putting them in. I'm not getting it, right? Because the portals don't work exactly. Not all of them work exactly how you would think, where you'd be mirrored. They're not mirrored in that sense. You're also going to get fanatics. Use a super on that Riven, like I said. And you get 60 seconds each time, so you get ages. So you have time to just go around in a clockwise direction and get the right diamond. Some of the timers will be off, like there's one there at 5, but that'll just reset. My main one's still at 40 seconds. See, so we get the diamond below, we shoot the ball, and that's what you do. You just rinse and repeat it. The hardest part will be if you have to deal with the Riven, but that's what the super's there for. Yeah. And that's pretty much the secret. Now, if it bugs out on you at all, like this secret part did bug out on me, because I've done it too many times. And at one point, I lost all my guns. It bugged out. I lost all armor. I was in summer shorts, and that was it. And I was soft locked in here. Continually putting blue modules into portals, not working. The whole game just sort of like soft locked. If that happens to you, you've got to start the entire thing. My best advice is just don't mess up the first time round. Which you shouldn't. As long as you follow the advice. Like I said, you don't have to get every module in right every time. It's just a case of you just need to go clockwise round the room until you get the right one, shoot the ball, that's it. And manage the fanatics. Don't get killed by the fanatics, of course. And that's really it. to this far secret. But I've seen a lot of confusion about this, and people have. I don't 100% like this that much, but it's also quite interesting, I suppose. So, but yeah, we're on the final two now. And that's pretty much all there is. So now we're thinking about the final boss fight. So as I said at the start of the video on what the loadouts was, because I opted to choose Song of Flame for my super choice, which it could have easily been Nova Bomb, and I'll tell you why it wasn't Nova Bomb. The reason why it wasn't Nova Bomb is because I was afraid the Hydra could possibly shoot my Nova Bomb down, the big one that is. Now you could argue back and say, well, use the small one. I could, but I don't like it that much, and I would have preferred to use the big one, and I know that the Hydra has a chance of shooting it down in higher end content. How many Voidwalkers over the last 7-8 years have had their Nova Bomb shot down? Hands up. It's happened to us all. So my idea was like, let's just not do Nova, because I don't want that to happen. I'll do Song of Flame, but I need to have a good weapon to accompany Song of Flame. And the best weapon for that, because of the artifact mod, Solar Fulmination, so solar builds are kind of back right now because of that artifact mod, then that improves your ignitions, by the way. So I was like, oh, well, Dragon's Breath's kind of back, especially paired with Song of Flame. I'll be able to do quite a lot of damage, so I was like, I'll do this, and that's the whole reason. So Dragon's Breath works for the Hydra boss, he works for the Tormentor and the Subjugator. All the three critical parts of this run, Dragon's Breath excels in, despite even there being the sniper meditation meta. I mean, like I said, I could have run Dragon's Breath and a kinetic sniper like Supremacy. Imagine that. That would do massive amount of damage, but I still don't recommend sniping because of the way that I'm going to be doing DPS. It's up close and personal, and doing it this way is better. So we'll get a turret down and super right away. The reason why you want to super is because you want to one phase your Minotaur. Now the way to one phase them without teleporting is to get them frozen and super right away, to not give them a chance. If he ports out of it, then just clean him up wherever he's ported to and keep your Devour chain going. Put the green into middle, of course, the one that spawns up, and kill the ads. Cyclops will spawn left or right. In this case it's left, but I often go this side and use that ring as cover, because say the Cyclops spawn behind me, then the Cyclops wouldn't be able to hit me because I've got a piece of cover there. But if the Cyclops spawns in front of me, then I win because I can immediately rocket sidearm him. So you see now that's how it works. So always have a piece of cover behind you, so the Cyclops, if the Cyclops did spawn behind you, if that happened, then you've got cover there and you're fine. Now we need to cap the point. So notice how super energy, this is where Solar Siphon does kind of matter, so you will see me pick up a couple of orbs here and there. Also it'll give me some utility kickstart orbs as well, which is nice, because I'm only rocking tier 8 recov, which I generally rock tier 9 or tier 10, but because I'm using Facet of Dominance and Facet of Ruin, I lose that plus 10 recov that I would usually have. So yeah, it's just a case of, that's why we've got that on. But yeah, we need to make sure that we've got a super and Transcendence and everything is fully loaded for DPS. DPS obviously does not start until we've got all the ads down. Make sure there's no ads on the back platforms, because they may port to you while you do DPS. By the way, if that happens at all, you're dead. You could be dead, even off one goblin, because of how much damage the Hydra boss does. Your positioning has to be bang on with this, but if you know exactly what you're doing, it's alright. I'm making it sound really difficult. It is if you don't know. You just need to know where to stand and what to do. So there's no ads behind me. There is some way over there, but they're not going to port. It's only the middle platforms I'm on about. So this is where I stand for DPS. I'll do 4 shots with rocket sidearm here to prep the item, this diamond thing. Because when you shoot that, you can start DPS. So we'll get a turret down. Yeah, we'll break this diamond, and then we're going to do an initial Dragon's Breath shot plus Radiant Melee, then Healing Rift. Then we'll get a reload, Transcendence, and then debuff, and then another Dragon's Breath shot. Some call ammo while standing in the rift and strafing. We'll do a last nade, then super, because that was a debuff nade, and then it's just ignitions, melee, grenade, Dragon's Breath. Melee, grenade, Dragon's Breath, because the ignitions are reloading Dragon's Breath. Because it's improved with Solar Fulmination, you see. That's our DPS rotation. That's massive damage, by the way, that. For Expert, that is a lot of damage. So if you get a really good phase 1 damage, be happy with yourself, because if you do it again, you'll solo 2-phase. And this is teaching you how to solo 2-phase, because I think it is beneficial to solo 2-phase, as long as you know what you're doing. Dragon's Breath plays into that as well, because you're only using maybe 3 or 4 shots per DPS phase. So chances are that you have ammo for the Minotaurs that spawn after DPS anyways, and you can kind of prep that by having bricks on the floor. So that's our first phase. What you'll find as well after DPS, these goblins go crazy. They just spawn to your plate. They just seem to up, their AI just seems to up a little bit. I don't know why. It happens every time. But yeah, just clear them. Pay attention to ammo drops. Hopefully RNG is on your side and you get left twice or right twice. So what I mean by that is this. A guy the other day commented and I said that I didn't know whether the Hydra would be left or right. And a guy said, you do know if the Hydra is left or right because you can see them there. The answer is no, you can't. If I was to look up right now, the Hydra is above my head. Like, before you tamper the scannable in mid, the Hydra sits up top on the ceiling like a spider. He sits up top there. When you tamper, the game then does a RNG mathematical decision on whether it's left or right. Now what I'm saying to you is if it's both left, you might have ammo on left because you were at left before. Do you get it? Whereas if it's left and right, you might not have bricks on right. And that's important because if you haven't got ammo for the Minotaurs after your solo 2 phase, you could be dead, I suppose. You just need to really play super careful at that point. So what I'm speaking to you is actually going to happen. So I'll tamper. Again, you don't know if it's left or right, not until tampering. When you tamper, boss spawns. So he's spawned, and then there's a Cyclops. So obviously we take the Cyclops. So I got good luck here. I got good RNG. Again, this could have been 2 right. It could have been left. It's a 50-50 chance on whether you know, with what happens. There could be a way, I suppose, farming ammo, but the thing is on phase 2 is the wall goes up and you won't have got the portal in, so you can't go and grab purple ammo from mid. I bet the best guess I could say to you is make sure you got 10 rockets then. If you're going from a DPS phase from left to right, just make sure you got a good plenty amount of rockets, because you're going to need some ammo after your DPS is done on phase 2 if you're doing it in this particular way. It is beneficial because it just means that you don't have to do another wave, you know. But if it's something that you can't be bothered with and you think what I'm explaining is a bit too much, then just do 3 phases, because the benefit or upside to 3 phases is that you'll have a super for phase 3 to just melt him anyways. So you could do it like that. But look at the bricks on the floor. I know now that I'm doing DPS and I'm going to finish on this plate. Look at the bricks. So I've got 7. Look, see, it's this pulse rifle. It's got heavy ammo finder on the gun. Yeah, it's a perk. You can craft it. It's called Heavy Ammo Recruiter. Got it. We're just going to melt all the goblins. Make sure there's none left behind us, because we need to get this DPS correct. So again, stand at our plate. This is the best spot to negate the void damage of the boss. Because flying units isn't on, like I said, the boss won't melt you as much. If you do this with flying units, you'll get melted. Like a little bit more. You can still survive, but there's more RNG chance of death from the area of effect damage that the boss does. Because flying units is not on and martyr is, right, it makes it a little easier. So we do the exact same damage rotation. Dragon's Breath shot, Radiant melee, then a Healing Rift, reload, Transcendence for debuff, bit of call, then another nade, then super. It's a satisfying DPS rotation. It's actually good. And then we just do ignitions and DB. To get in below that line, you need to get in below that line to achieve the sort of. Then that means the boss will transport to mid, and the boss actually will still hurt you because the boss is in it's on the final stand. Whereas if this wasn't final stand, the boss would be not damaging you. So this is where Dragon's Breath comes in. Look at what Dragon's Breath is doing for us. I ask you a question. I know that Darcy and Whisper of the Worm does damage, but where would your gameplay loop be right now if this was Darcy or Whisper? They wouldn't be benefiting you anymore. See, that's what I'm saying. Dragon's Breath is a dual-based weapon where it helps against VIPs, Ag Clear, and boss damage. So it's just doing more for you. Not to say that Whisper isn't much more better at DPS, which it is, because of the Sniper's Meditation, etc., etc. But it doesn't matter, we've just solo 2 phase anyways. And you cannot solo 1 phase on this difficulty. You can on normal. You can on normal. It has been done on normal, but not on expert. Not to my knowledge. So we are just trying to break down that seal, and I'm going to show you a place to DPS. You can DPS the boss from anywhere on this map once that cube or diamond thing has been taken off. So look. The boss is now damageable, so we can stand where we want. We've got tons of heavy as well. If you have no heavy at all, and you want a backup DPS weapon, Revision 0. Or Outbreak Perfected. And you can just melt them. You can melt the boss from back here. So we're just doing Dragon Breath shot, jumping, and call. That's it. But look, we're safe here. Look at this. It's really safe. We could stand in mid now because there's no more goblins to spawn. But I'm just showing people that, oh, you're not stuck in middle. You can DPS from other plates. We haven't got the blue relic in the other side to go to the other side, but that doesn't matter. If you do have super as well, and the boss has still got a good 20%, it's safe to go on super and kill the boss, but not much more than that if you've got no ammo. But yeah, I'm just showing you the utility of being able to solo the boss from here. So yeah, the boss is just about dead. So that's the solo flawless 100% run on this. I'm glad that that mission's out the way. We've now got the GM mode, Grandmaster Nightfall node selector, which I'm excited for. So, but yeah, that was the run. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.